What's up guys, Woo here, back again with another Division 2 video guys, and in this video, state of the game recap, 1st of April 2020, no April Fools today guys, this is a serious juicy one, so of course if you enjoyed the video drop a like and drop the woo bomb on the subscribe button and ding that notification bell to be reminded when I upload. You need to do that. Guys, let's woo this. Guys, in the week of March the 17th, they were made aware of a DPS exploit that was done by interacting with a turret, and there were different variations of that exploit. The first fix went out on March the 20th. Over that weekend they learned of more variations of the exploit and deployed further fixes over the course of the week. After the patch from last Friday, they were at the point where they could stop the ridiculous amount of damage stacking. They are aware that there are more variations and they are working on that. Over the weekend they identified players that have used the exploit. So guys, yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy week, it really has. I mean, Massive have been working so hard to identify who's been, again, exploiting these glitches. Now, in terms of player identification, take a look at this. After the players were identified, they got a 7-day suspension and a rollback to March the 17th. They will not explain how the players were identified, simply because they don't want players to avoid this detection method, again in case something else comes up. They looked at specific accounts, they did not look into who players were grouped up with and what exactly they were doing with those other players. They looked at specific accounts, what that specific player was doing, and matched that data with their defined criteria. This gave them confidence about the suspensions because they could rule out that players were caught up in some random matchmaking groups. Matchmaking has no impact on the suspension. If you feel the actions were unjust, you need to report it to UB support, where the case will be looked at individually. In general, they take action when they can verify what is happening. They don't just look at player reports, screenshots and clips. Once an exploit was identified, they will match the account data with the defined criteria and then take action when they are sure that the exploit was used. The first offence will give a 7-day suspension and the second can be a permanent ban. Guys, permanent ban. So far, we didn't have any false positives that required the removal of the suspension. Crazy guys, it's absolutely crazy. I never thought we'd be in this position. But I think when push comes to shove, Massive have taken action, and they have taken some real hardline action as well. Now, in terms of suspension numbers, there is a narrative going around that 50% of the player base was suspended. It is nowhere near that amount. While the suspension wave was significant, there are millions of players that just play the game. The majority of players did not use the exploit. So guys, what do you say, 20-25%, so a quarter of the player base that have used the glitch? Crazy. Just, it blows my mind, it really does. That's a lot of bans that have been shelled out, but I've seen many reports that say 80% of the player base, and that's bullshit. It really is. You can see now they are quietly confident that there is, again, a chunk, and it's only a small chunk, but around about 20-25% that were banned. Moving forward, title update 8.5. So guys, reset control points, that's going to happen, that's great. But also, they're addressing and monitoring the overall balancing of the game and looking to certain outliers. Warhounds, status effects and things like poison, fire or gas are among them. And guys, status effects are a problem, they really are. Unless you spec highly into hazard protection, then you've got a problem. Simple as that. The goal is to avoid mechanics that instantly kill a player with full health and armor. When instances like that are found, they try to address them. Now, moving forward, NPC balancing, this is key. They're pretty happy where things have landed. Now they're looking at the mentioned edge cases where they can't just work with armor, health and damage values. Like True Suns, then explosive ammo, they should not tear down 1.6 million armor players in seconds, but they do. Now, M1A, Crusader Shield and Focus are not working as intended. You should only get the focus buff when you are aiming through a scope. The fix to that will be dropped after TU 8.5. They're currently working on the exact fix because it is difficult to balance around precision, damage and the usage of a shield. In essence, even though the builds have low armor, they have the safety of a shield. That is not the intended setup of a sniper. They're also aware of the discussion that there seems to be a low build variety. Some has to do with the overtuned named items. They are okay with best in slot items, but in some cases the numbers are wrong. And we knew this was coming, guys. I did anyway. Fox's Prayer, Contractor Gloves, and the Hollow Man are examples. Expect nerfs, guys. Really, expect a balancing change. They will still be powerful, but they also work very well with the meta guns, so that will be addressed. ARs getting buffed. Hoorah, hoorah, yeah. Damage to health rolls will be buffed. Ace. Punch Drunk will do about 20% headshot damage, and Claws Out will get a skill tier core attribute. Pistol damage and about 500% melee damage. Nice. Now, something again I really want to talk about is build diversity. At the moment, there is the narrative that are only MG5 and M1A builds around, and to be fair, I wouldn't say that, but you know, most of the players I've played with, they have at least one of these set up. And again, people I speak to say, go for the classic M1A, it's the best gun around. Then yeah, it is the best in slot at present. Some things are going to change. Based on the big data, there is a lot more diversity within the builds. Skill builds, for example, are quite popular and useful. Skill builds are amazing. Yes, they are. You know, Hardwired, as an example, is in the top 5 of gear sets and what players still use. Unbreakable is still at the top, and not everybody runs Vigilance and Glass Cannon. I've got a pretty cool Glass Cannon skill build. It's awesome. I want to share that with you soon. The LMG M1A combo is powerful. They say very powerful, and they're looking into that. But they also have no issues with best in slot items. But they also want to support different playstyles with bringing up the underperformers and address the high flyers. So guys, expect changes to these. And again, build diversity is in a decent place, I feel. But again, rifles are the meta. They seriously are. So I do think AR is going to get that slight little buff and hopefully become a bit more powerful in TU 8.5 and beyond. Exotics. They acknowledge that some exotics are underperforming, and with TU 8.5 they dropped the first balance pass over the exotics. They could not dress all exotics in this update, but more changes will follow. Also guys, a bit of good news, raid gear sets will join the general loot pool. Should have done all along, but hey ho, they're now in the general loot pool. So an update down the road, not this update, is not TU 8.5, which is next week, may I add, it's next week. The raid sets will join the general loot pool completely, and you can get the chest and backpack from the Dark Hours raid sets in the general loot pool. Title Update 9. What's happening? Well guys, it will follow later in April. So you're guessing about 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks time, we're going to get some news on Title Update 9. Season 1 events, yeah, we want to talk about the next update. Currently it is March 31st Target 2, which is Venus. That's currently ongoing. March 31st is the double XP event as well. And also just launched is the Urban Jungle Apparel event. And there are, yeah, this new mask which is available. And you're going to get 4 new vanity cosmetic, lovely setups to try and earn through these caches. You've got the Reconnaissance, Hazard, Chrome and Gorilla. And again, there's one free key for all players if you own Warlords or not, which is pretty nice. Kenley College is now reopened, and that'll be open for 1 more week, and that's a chance to get the Diamondback exotic rifle. And guys, and that is about it for the lovely State of the Game recap. Of course, the bans are the big issue, the big thing. Not as many players were banned as anticipated, but guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Guys, this has been a really difficult week, and I'm just glad that most of us have stuck together. We've said how it is. It has been highly frustrating, and I don't want to see this divide within the community because it really pushes the boat out. It doesn't need to happen. I've seen many spats between many content creators and the community itself. Guys, we need to embrace this as one. Just move forward, and we know now when glitches, they will still exist in the game. Let's move on. Let's not use them and abuse them, or the fear of a ban, perhaps a permaban. Who wants that? Nobody. Guys, as always, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.